Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. And it is that time of year again, time to start thinking about our tomato crop for the coming spring and summer, and actually fall. We had tomatoes last year from May until December. And last year, you may remember that I found an heirloom tomato about this big around just in our grocery store and brought it home and sliced it up and put slices in soil and just a whole slice down in the soil and had about 30 or 40 starts from that. And we took it from there. Well, I am doing something very different, and this is a pure experiment. So we'll see how it works. I don't even know if it will work. But last November, as I recognized that, we'd already had a couple of freezes, light freezes, and the tomatoes were dwindling. And so I selected, I think, about 3 tomatoes that were really good. And these were our heirloom tomatoes. Heirloom, of course, are open pollinated, and you almost never know what you are actually going to get. So anyway, I sliced up 3 different tomatoes. Here's one that has since cracked. Here is 2. Oh, it looks like I did 4. 3 and 4. Now, the reason that they're still in slices is because I proceeded to dehydrate them. Now, as I say, I've not ever done that before. Usually what I do is slice fresh tomatoes, but I loved those heirlooms so very much that I wanted to preserve seeds. And this is how I decided to preserve seeds. No fuss, no bother, just slice and dehydrate. And so what I'm going to do is put these down in these cups, which I have some soil already. It's potting mix. And I have some extra so that I can use for the topping. So I'm going to do 4. So these are going to be the extra for the topping. And there's water down in the bottom, and it will wick up to make sure that that potting soil is wet through and through. Then I'm going to place them over in our south-facing window, and we will see what happens. So here we go. So I'm placing the first one right here, and the 2 halves of the second one right here. Here goes the third one, and I believe that this third one was one of our darker tomatoes, and they were surely good. And then the last one is here. And then I'm just going to take this potting soil that is already pre-dampened and cover them with about 1/4 inch of this wet potting soil. Enough to be sure that they are completely under the soil. So what's going to have to happen is that those seeds are going to have to rehydrate and then sprout and grow. Will they? Well, I don't know. I did not have the temperature over 130 when I was dehydrating them. So whether or not tomato seeds can withstand that, we'll find out. And due to the open pollination, I have no clue what we're going to come up with in terms of our tomatoes. I have really learned to love heirloom tomatoes. They produce huge bushes, and so I'm going to be better prepared for that this year. But I'm also going to plant a couple of other varieties that I get seeds from the market from, and just in case these don't work, I still want to have tomatoes. So we'll be following these over the next few weeks. This is the last of February, and so this video is scheduled to go sometime in April. So by April, we will know whether or not we've got a liftoff or not. So we'll see you along the way. It is day 10 of our tomato growing experiment, and we have some results. We don't have the results that I was hoping for, and I'll show you. Right here in this cup, we have 2 starts. And remember, last year when I did this and I planted a little piece, we had 20 to 30 in each one of the cups that I did. This one has about, I don't know, it doesn't matter, 12, 13, somewhere in there. So that one is better. This one also has maybe 15 or 16, so it's good. This one has none. So this would be enough just for us, if that's what I wanted to do. And I'm very grateful. So what I have, I'm very grateful for these because obviously a lot of the seeds were killed off when I put the tomato slices in the dehydrator. If I do this again, which I probably will, because it just makes it so much easier than trying to pick out individual seeds and to dry them and all of that mess, I think I will dry them at a much lower temperature, maybe at about 100, and it will take a little bit longer, but I imagine that we will have a greater percentage germination and fewer seeds will be killed off by the heat. But I have some good news. I asked Jim to watch for an heirloom tomato when he went shopping last time, and look at this giant. The produce guy was so excited. He said, we just got a whole shipment in. These are from Canada, and these are heirloom tomatoes. So I always like to grow many, many more starts than what we will ever use, because I very much like to give starts to friends and neighbors, and I just put a little note on our local page to just come and get tomato starts. And usually people will take me up on that, and it's a good thing. I love to share these things. So I just put some soil in here. I'm going to get it wet. All right, so now it shrunk quite a bit. And I'm going to set these over here, bring the cutting board over, and I'm going to cut a slice of this tomato. Well, it certainly has lots of seeds, but there's no way this big of a ring can fit in this cup. It's too big. So once again, I'm just going to be cutting little pieces like I did last year to plant. And I can probably do one more. So this is what it looks like. And I'm going to cover that. Let me get this wet too. I'm just going to cover this with more soil, more potting mix. And we're going to put this in the back right here. And we'll put that over in the windowsill with these others. And we should get some shoots within 10 days. And this should produce a lot of seeds for us, of little starts for us, so that I can share with our friends. So one of the things that I want to do now, well, I'm going to rinse this little piece because I got some dirt on it. And I'm just going to take a bite to see if I like this tomato. It's fine. I remember when I tasted the heirloom tomato that I did last year, I wasn't that much impressed with the taste, but it produced phenomenal tomatoes. This one doesn't appear to be quite ripe. It should be fine to grow the seeds, but the taste is a little bit unripe. But we'll use the rest of that tomato, there's no doubt about it. So in any case, we'll come back when there is more news to show. So we are in week 4, and these are the 4 that we planted using dehydrated tomato slices. This is the one that started with only 2, and look at it. These 2 are the ones that came on first, and they're doing great. We have secondary leaves coming, and this is the one that wasn't doing anything, and it has one little seedling right there. And then this is the one that we planted last time, which was the fresh tomato that Jim found in the grocery store, and it's nothing yet. So it's still a little bit early for it. It's been in just a little bit over a week, so we should see something this week on these. But here is what we need to do now. Not this one, we're gonna put this one back, maybe some more will pop up. These are ready to go into the this tray, which will ultimately go out into the greenhouse. So I have to transplant them because they're way too crowded here, and I just wanted to show you how I do that. So this is a skewer, and I just use that little skewer to pull these up, and I carefully separate them. So here's one right here, and then what I do here, this is just brand new potting soil. I'll just make a little hole and put the root down in there and press it into place, and we have a tomato planted now. So it's a very easy thing to do, to transplant these and get them to where they have more room and fewer close neighbors. So I'm going to keep working on this, and we're going to plant all of these. This holds 40, so who knows how many we're going to come up with. But I'll keep transplanting these, and we'll come back when we're done and I'll show them to you. Here they are. We have 42, and I have some blanks here, so in case our Canadian heirloom tomatoes puts out some, I'll have some space to put more. They're in transplant shock right now. I'm not sure all of them are going to survive, but we're going to give them all a chance. I'm not putting them out in the greenhouse until I have babysat them inside the house for a week or so. So I'm going to put them over in on our sunny bar where the bay window is, so they'll have lots of sunlight and the right amount of heat, and we'll see they should start recovering right away. So we're going to take this video just a little bit longer until I can show you the transplantable ones in the greenhouse. Probably in 2 or 3 weeks we will know. So that will be the last of our videos, and I know we'll know by then if our Canadian heirloom produced any that we added to our flat. This is plenty of tomatoes for us and plenty to give away to friends and neighbors. So we'll see you in the next step. Well, good morning. It has been 2 weeks since we showed you a video on how we planted dehydrated tomato slices and the results. And here are our seedlings after 2 weeks of being transplanted from the red paper cups. Now, I have a little bit of good news right here. This is the last tomato slice that didn't put up anything until about 2 weeks ago. So we got one seed on this one. And it's already in a red cup, so it's just going to stay there. Now here was the Canadian slice tomato, fresh, that Jim brought in from the store, and there's something really weird going on with it. I'm not sure I'm going to, well, it looks like I have one good one and another one coming, but they will pop up. It's really hard to see, but they pop up and then the leaves immediately die. And so since these are open pollinated or heirloom, weird things happen, so we'll just count that up to the weird things, and then I probably will just take that one seedling from the Canadian tomato. But today what I'm going to do is to show you how I move them from this seedling tray into the red cups, which is their final planting place until we move them outside. We'll put them outside probably around the first 2 weeks of May, depending on what the weather is. Of course, just like the rest of the country, we are unseasonably hot right now, but we always get a freeze in April that ruins most of our fruit. So I don't want to put the tomatoes out until our freeze date, which is May the 15th. But we'll see. It may be a couple of weeks earlier because everything else was out a month earlier this year. So I'm going to just set these to the side. Here's what I'm going to do, and usually I will do this in the greenhouse and rather than on the kitchen countertop, but right now it's over 100 degrees in the greenhouse, so I'm not going to go out there to do it. And I'm going to be really careful, and then when I'm done, of course, I will sanitize the entire bar with stearamine. So we'll be back in good working order for food prep again. So I'm going to flip this around so I have access to these really tall ones right here. Those are the ones that I'm going to work on transplanting. Now I have these red solo cups, and they have 4 little holes in the bottom, and I have just about 1/4 of an inch of this potting mix down in the bottom. And so I'm going to go after this one and just show you what I do. I'm going to lift it out in its root ball. Now, tomato plants are really, really forgiving. It's really hard to damage a tomato plant like this unless you're really, really rough. These are the original 2 leaves. These are called the seed leaves. So I'm just going to pinch those off. They really aren't worth anything. They will either dry up, and some of them already have dried up and dropped off. And that leaves all of this stem. So the stem is capable of putting out more roots. All plants are not like that, but tomato plants are. So I'm just going to put this one down here and bury it significantly, and then very carefully, trying not to spill any on my kitchen counter, I am going to just dip into this potting mix and fill it up, well, to about right there. So I'm just under where the first real leaves pinch off. Now, I have the option of, as this grows, I can pinch these 2 leaves off if I wish and fill it all up to here. But I have enough here, so that makes it good enough. Now I'm going to just transplant these, and then I will come back, and I've got to put gloves on. This stuff has some stickery stuff, so excuse me for just a minute. So coordination with my blouse was totally accidental. Okay, so let's do another one. So we'll take this one. I'm going to put just a little bit in the bottom, and then we'll get this one as well. And you can see with this one that one of the, it's just already withered, and it came off very easily. So just getting this off is going to be easy. So I'm going to put this down and do the same thing. I'm going to do it with my hands. I have better control. Okay, I'm not going to do all of these. It looks like I'm going to do 6 or 8 of them, and then the others will need to grow a little bit longer. So I'll come back in just a bit and show you when I have transplanted all the ones that I'm going to be doing today. Well, here we are. So I have 14 now transplanted into their last pot before planting outdoors, and then the rest are over here. We're going to have about 40 good seedlings, I think, and we may put maybe 10 in our yard this year. I put way too many in last year, and we just had tomatoes coming out of our ears, plus they took over the garden, so we're going to be a little bit more judicious this year. I did lose 2 or 3 of these in the last 4 weeks since they've been over here, or I guess it's been 2 weeks since they've been over here, and that's just par for the course. It's going to happen. We'll probably lose a couple of these. I'm not going to water these in the house. Right now, this tray is very light. I can handle it very easily. I'm going to take it out to the greenhouse and water it, and that won't take me very long at all. So this is a big success in dehydrating slices of tomatoes as they come to the end of their productive season in the fall. And then the thing that I learned was to keep it at about 100 to 120 maybe, but 100 would probably be better, because I did have quite a die-off of the seeds that they did not ever come up. Usually I get 30 to 40 per slice, and this time I got 40 for 4 slices. But it's fine. We got enough that we needed for this season, so that's all that counts. And what a great way it is, and so handy, to just be able to pop a slice in a cup and let those seedlings come up, and then transplant them to a seed bed here, and then to their final pot before transplanting. So this was really a big success. I'll be doing this from now on, and I hope that this was really helpful to you. And as we go through the season, you know that I always show our garden once in a while, so you'll be seeing these plants as they mature and start producing as well. So thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you very soon for more videos.